Hey everyone, I want to tell you about the Sunday morning I stood in the pulpit, looked out at 17 people scattered across a sanctuary built for 200, and decided this would be my last sermon. I was exhausted, discouraged, out of vision to cast, out of faith this church would ever grow. So I planned to resign, to admit that some churches just can't be saved, and some pastors just aren't cut out for this. This is about what happens when your calling collides with years of invisible work and no visible results, when faithfulness feels like failure, and how one Bible verse became the lifeline that kept me from abandoning the harvest right before it came. I'd felt called to ministry since I was 19. After seminary, the denominational office told me about Riverside Community Church, a small congregation in a rural town with declining attendance. The last pastor had left after 18 months. I was 26, full of energy and ideas. I believed I could turn it around. My first Sunday, 32 people showed up. The building was outdated. The children's ministry was 2 kids coloring in a room with peeling paint. But I saw potential. I saw people who loved Jesus and needed a shepherd. I preached my heart out that first year, launched new programs, started a contemporary service, knocked on doors, hosted community events. By year's end, we'd grown to 35 people. 3 more than when I started. I told myself it was progress. Stay faithful, keep working. Year 2, I worked even harder. Better sermons, better outreach, better everything. We ended the year at 31 people. We'd gone backward. Year 3 was brutal. Faithful families moved away, an elder passed away, a nearby church plant opened with a younger pastor and better facility. Suddenly, we were down to 23 people. I started questioning everything. My calling, my abilities, my worth as a pastor. I'd watch megachurch pastors preaching to thousands and wonder what they had that I didn't. My wife tried to encourage me, but I couldn't see past the numbers. I'd given 3 years of 60-hour weeks, sacrificing time with my wife and young daughter, and the church was smaller than when I arrived. The district superintendent called and asked if I'd thought about moving on. Sometimes a church needs a different leader for the next season, he said. That conversation planted a seed. Maybe he was right. Year 4, we dropped to 17 people. Every Sunday felt humiliating, preaching to empty pews, leading worship where you could hear individual voices echoing. I couldn't afford a salary anymore and had to take a part-time job at the hardware store. One Sunday, I preached on perseverance, on staying faithful even when circumstances are hard. And as I preached those words, I felt like a hypocrite because I didn't believe them anymore. After the service, Mrs. Patterson grabbed my hand. "Thank you, Pastor. Don't give up on us." I smiled and nodded, but inside, I'd already given up. That night, I told my wife I was resigning. I wrote my resignation letter that week, planning to read it the following Sunday. But before that Sunday came, something happened. Wednesday night, cleaning out my office, I found an old journal from my first year. I flipped through prayers I'd written. "God, don't let me grow weary in doing good." That phrase stopped me cold. I grabbed my Bible, Galatians 6:9. "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." I felt the Holy Spirit speak. You're about to give up right before the harvest. Not at my preferred time, not on my timeline, at the proper time, God's time. I thought about Abraham, who waited 25 years for Isaac, Joseph, who waited 13 years in slavery and prison, Moses, who waited 40 years in the wilderness. They didn't see immediate results, but they didn't give up. And at the proper time, they reaped a harvest. I fell to my knees in that empty office and wept. "God, I've been measuring success by numbers instead of faithfulness. If you want me to stay, I'll stay." I tore up my resignation letter. Within 6 months, we grew from 17 people to 45. Within a year, we hit 70. 2 years later, we were averaging 120 on Sundays. The harvest came, not when I wanted it, at the proper time. Here's what I learned. Faithfulness in the invisible years prepares you for fruitfulness in the visible ones. Those 4 hard years when nothing seemed to be happening, God was working, building my character, teaching me dependence, preparing the soil. I almost missed it because I grew weary in doing good. Don't give up in the 4th quarter. Don't walk away right before the harvest. You will reap at the proper time if you do not give up. God's timing isn't your timing, but His timing is perfect. Keep sowing, keep serving, keep staying faithful. Your harvest is coming.
Thanks for watching. Here are today's reflection questions.
Have you ever been tempted to quit something right before a breakthrough? What kept you going? Or what made you walk away? When you look back at your hardest seasons, can you now see how God was preparing you, even when nothing seemed to be working? Drop your thoughts about the story in the comments below. Your experience might encourage someone else facing the same choice. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more real stories about faith, perseverance, and trusting God's timing. Your harvest might be closer than you think.